Today on Extended Legacy, we speak with Coach Devan Clark, men's basketball coach at Northside High School, as he prepares for a state championship game against St. Thomas More this Friday night. Coach Clark, you'll hear, is seeking to extend the legacy of his coach, Coach Joel Hawkins, as he prepares for a state championship run. And also we hear how he seeks to expand that legacy by bringing his Northside High School basketball program into national prominence, both on the basketball court and in the classroom. Let's hear what he has to say. Ready? Okay. Coach Clark, how you doing this morning, sir?
All right, and you?
All right, man. Coach, I want to talk to you today at Acadiana briefly about your basketball program here at Northside High School. I've known you now for about 5 or 6 years, and you're doing some really great things from what I can tell. What struck me the most was recently, back in I think October, November, we had a preseason meeting, and you asked me to speak to your parents and to your kids about some academics. And in that meeting, I recall you telling the parents and the students, your team at that time, that your ultimate goal for Northside High School basketball was to take this program to the national level. Was that correct?
Correct.
Can you explain to us what you mean by that and what you see in that vision?
The ultimate goal was to get this program beyond the state recognition.
Okay.
And with that, the major thing I was seeing was our guys wasn't going to college and playing basketball. They wasn't going for various reasons.
Okay.
Some of it was because, skill set wise, they were maybe in one-dimensional, or it was talk about, what they couldn't do,
okay,
as opposed to the competitive nature. But the other thing that I'm starting to see now, not so much when I first got here, is that our kids don't seem to be taking the academics as serious as they need to because of all the standards that are going up.
Right.
Now, we on those same old standards, and it's not okay, but it's not as bad. But every year that the standards go up, we need to go up and meet those standards. And I want these guys, and that's why I asked you to come in and talk to them, show them how important that was. In order for us to go into national prominence, we need guys Division I eligible. So that's the most important. That's going to be my start. It's not what we do out here on the basketball court. It's what we're doing in these classrooms that will lead to success beyond the basketball court. Okay. So that's the national prominence and talk that I'm referring to when I say take Northside to the national level. A lot of people get that confused with on the court. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. Okay. I want national prominence on the court and off the court.
Well, Kendall was interviewed last week, and Kendall is the player on your team right now who has done it both on the court and off the court, dominant on both ends. And I asked him, I said, Kendall, can there be another Kendall Demonstrat produced at Northside after you? He said, yes, sir. We've got kids who can be better athletes than me and better students than I am. And I was kind of surprised by that, really, but he seemed to be confident about that. You seem to be driven toward that same goal. Is that a reality here at Northside High School?
It's beyond reality. We have a kid right now, and I'm going to throw a name out. He's a freshman, Brandon Ellis, who can supersede Kendall in academics and athletic if he really stay focused and put his mind. He's a freshman.
Now look, hold on. Let's go stop right there, because I think I saw you play and start Brandon against Peabody. Did you not?
He started ever since the playoffs. Every game in the playoffs, he's
really
been a starter.
And he hit 2 big shots against, huge 3-pointers. Freshman. So he's the next superstar on your team, academically and athletically.
He's the next one.
He's the next one.
He's the next one.
So Kendall was right then.
Kendall was right. He's the one, but I can point to some other guys who has the potential. August, sophomore, comes in. He's a pretty good student as well. I mean, basketball-wise, he's learning. Yep. But as far as the books and approaching the game the right way, he's going to be a really, really good student, athlete, and ambassador for the school. I mean, I have a lot of them in the program. My guys, I think they kind of take it from me. We kind of laid back, stay out of the spotlight. Right. Our principal does a great job of putting those guys out where they need to be, and as far as recognition. Right. But at the end of the day, those guys have to know as a collective unit. If I have 12 on the team, I want 12 star student athletes. And unfortunately for us, I can't sit here and brag on that right now, because a 3.0, when you can be a 3.5, is not tolerated here at Northside. We're going to live up to our potential on the floor and off the floor.
Very good, very good. Well, you just made a very strong point about living up to one's potential. And you mentioned Mr. August and how he has the right approach to the game. Let's go a little bit now to the basketball side. When you say the right approach to the game, what's that mean so that young men can understand what you mean by that?
Non-basketball or basketball?
No, about having the right approach to the game of basketball.
Just...
You said that August has that approach.
Yes, it's work ethic. First of all, work ethic. He's he comes in and just want to drill, just want to get better, want to eliminate all weaknesses. I mean, he works. He's a gym rat.
Okay.
I mean, he really wants to be a basketball player. He came to us more just a guy who was maybe considered wild and out of control, that we have to settle in and teach him the game of basketball. He's a student of the game. He's a sponge. He can sit there and he'll soak it up. Not necessarily able to go out there right away, but the fact that he plays and works so hard makes up for a lot of his deficiencies. So now we're just trying to get him to learn and understand the game of basketball more as clock management. But his approach, serious, not a lot of play in him. I mean, he's dedicated to his team, dedicated to his school, his family. I mean, mother does a great job with him. He has little siblings. I mean, he wants to be a leader for her. And he's trying to use basketball as a source of getting, a higher education. He's not one of these guys coming in here who's just doing it for fun. He's serious.
Wow. That's the same approach that I know it takes to be a good student also. Yeah. And you can do both. You can be a great athlete. You can be a national champion athlete and a great student also. So I wish him and all your students success in both arenas in that way. I'm proud to hear about that. When you first came to Northside High School, and as I look around in the gym and look at all the banners of their success before you got here, how would you characterize the Northside program basketball-wise and academically, classroom-wise?
When I first got here, I can't talk about anything before me, but that team that I took over came that's fresh off a state championship.
Okay, that's in '97, I believe.
06, 07 season was my first season.
Okay,
fresh off a championship, so they had a hangover, so to speak, of championship behavior. I understand what they done was good, but at the end of the day, it's over. We have to live to win more championships. Are you satisfied with just one? And the message that I wanted to portray when I got here is that we will be a team. And the only way I know how to be a team is discipline, hard work, and we're gonna do everything the right way. What you've done before me, I do not care about. I'm here now. This is the way it's gonna be. If not, transfer, do whatever it is you have to do. No hard feelings, I promise you. But at the end of the day, we will be a team. We're going to be a disciplined team, and we're going to win basketball games, and we're going to win championships. I was fortunate enough, those kids, man, they really bought in. Hearing the stigma that's associated with Northside, everybody tried to discourage me from coming out here as an assistant, like, why do that when you can do this and this and that and other. Those kids, this and that and other. But at the end of the day, I believe in myself, and I believe in us, our kids. When I say us, I mean young African-American men. I believe I have a special gift to relate to those guys and to show those guys what this game can do for them. We approach the game like the game owe us something, when in actuality we owe the game.
Wow. That kind of talk is, to me, unusual. And, I told you earlier that I talked to a guy named Joe Dupree, who you may know from Southern basketball. And for those of you who don't know, you are a product of Coach, is it Joel Hawkins?
Joel Hawkins.
Joe or Joel?
Joel
Hawkins. Now, he's a Louisiana high school basketball legend. If you can, tell us about who Coach Hawkins was, and just why he's so special to you.
Man, he's so special to me as a sixth grader enrolling in the Southern Lab, man, and him taking me under his wing as a sixth grader. Allowing me to just learn and absorb basketball. I was taught the game in the sixth grade by him. Wasn't on the JV, couldn't play JV in the sixth grade. He made a special team just so I could get to play. And then we had some other younger guys we could get to play. And then we may have played in maybe 2 tournaments. And he sat there and he coached us. And he coached the JV and he coached the varsity that year as well. He allowed me to just hang around and absorb, sit in the stand. And the way, you could not believe how much basketball knowledge and how much there is to truly learn. You don't have to be the best talented team, the most talented team. You don't have to have guys 6'10". You don't have to have the best shooter. But what you do have to have is discipline and organization and confidence. And he instilled that in each and every one of us. I'm talking from the top guy on the team to the last guy on the team, that you are taught to be a champion.
You know, as I watch the Northside games, I happen to listen to people talk in the stands. I know you don't, but I do. The so-called experts are critical of some things that you may do as a coach, okay? And I guess you understand that. However, I heard this past Friday evening in Lake Charles from those same experts. They said that this year, this team that you have right now may not be your best athletic team. Is that a true assessment?
I don't know those experts, what they look for in athleticism, but so I can't answer.
Okay.
Is it the best team I've had since I've been here? No.
Okay, I think that's what their point was. This is not the best team that you've ever coached.
No, we agree.
And they also said that Danny Brewster at SCM, that this is not his best team he's ever coached, athletic-wise. That's what they're saying. And the point was this: they're giving you credit for doing a great coaching job with players that may not be on the same level as your past players. That's what they're saying as of Friday night. Now, you may not see it that way, but when you say that Coach Hawkins believed that you may not have to have the best talented team to win, that reminded me of what I heard in the stands this past weekend. Okay. So your team apparently has embodied the same principles as Coach Hawkins taught you: discipline, confidence, hard work, concentration. Is that true?
That's true to a certain degree. The only thing I add in there, the difference between Coach Hawkins and myself, is he didn't have to do this, but I have to do this now. I have to encourage my kids and get to fight and compete, give them a will to compete. We came in there as fighters and competitors. Okay. We were just taught, the game at a certain level. So you didn't have to tell us about competition and compete. Okay. I have to remind my kids that we're going to compete. We're going to fight to the end. Things don't go right, we're going to fight, we're going to compete. That's the only difference I would add and I would throw into that. And as far as about fans in the stands, it's real simple. As a basketball coach, I'm measured in wins and losses.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, it's about wins and losses. Yes. Fan may draw an attraction to a certain kid for whatever reason. They may know the family, this and that. I have to coach 11. That's how many on my team. I can't coach and cater to one. At the end of the day, you're going to measure me in W's and L's.
Got it. I understand. Well, with that being said, you are getting a lot of W's, and you're on the verge of getting the biggest W of the year, a state championship against your rival, STM. STM. With being confident, I'm sure you feel that you can beat the team, although you've lost twice this year. You confident?
Confident.
I feel it. I see it. Just a few more things before we end up, Coach. Back to Coach Hawkins for a second. And this is on the academic side, okay? Joe Dupree also said that Hawkins was known for being a person who promoted his students being good students. And he said that he heard Coach Hawkins give this one quote one day at the Southern Mini Dome. Don't know where it was, but he said that he heard Coach Hawkins say, JD, I'd rather have a great student and a good basketball player than having a great basketball player and a good student. Now, when he said that, I was kind of taken aback because that sounds kind of unrealistic. But he swears that Coach Hawkins said that. Is that a statement that you think Coach Hawkins would have said?
That was a statement that we heard on numerous accounts. There were practices, like into the state championship, we didn't take a shot. We didn't touch a ball. We sat in the bleachers and we neck up. Basketball is played from the neck up. And we talked this game through. We clocked the situation. He was a real stickler for basketball IQ. The practice time, the actual practice time may have diminished to maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes of us actually moving. We don't break sweats for days at a time. And people coming in, college coaches coming to watch us, want to see us do things sometimes. And, sometimes we give them a little something, but for the most part, it was him making sure we were all on the same page mentally. And with a kid that has trouble, you know, understanding, and you know, he probably didn't make the team. Or it was hard for him to get on the floor. But for the most part, I mean, we had guys that was truly locked in on the mental side. So that statement means he had to have you academically or you know, some kind of, in order to play, in order to get his message and his approach to basketball across.
Right.
You know, it wasn't about the physical. It was from the neck up. That's the way he said. The game is played from the neck up nowadays, because guys, you can find somebody who can jump on every basketball team. You can find somebody who scored 20 on every basketball team. But the one thing he told me that stuck out with me, and I'll never forget the rest of my life. Yeah. Keep in mind, on every team that you play, you're going to have a guy who scores a lot of points. When his career is over, you see if that same guy moves on.
Powerful statement.
Powerful statement. We didn't understand it at first, but during that time, we knew what he was saying, because they had some guys that was getting big numbers.
Right.
When it was over, whether they couldn't make the grade or because they couldn't understand basketball, or they went to school and ended up dropping out because they couldn't play within systematic basketball. He prepared us for college. I mean, my senior year state championship team, everybody with the exception of one played Division I college basketball.
Okay.
And when they came out
Sure.
of the year, we all weren't all seniors, but when they came out, they went Division I with the exception of one guy.
Right. Wow.
Man, that's almost unheard of, and there was 12 guys on that team.
Is that the legacy that you want to establish here at Northside High School? Do you want that same type of track record with your student athletes here at Northside?
You know what, I want a little more, because our students are different. And Southern Lab is a semi-private school, so you're kind of brought up from a different background. Not saying everything is easy, but
right.
when you go to Southern Lab, it's a college preparatory school, so the whole school is set up for you to move on to college. Okay. Here at a public high school, and the socio-economic background of our kids is a little different.
Okay.
You know, nobody in the house may have went to college.
Right. Right.
So I got to dig a little deeper to get my message across. But we're going to get this message across. We're going to take what you love, and we're going to try to take what you love to get what you really need. And that's this game of basketball. We're going to let it change your life. You're not going back and live with your mama until you're 30 years old. You're going to go out, get a degree, get a job, get your own family, and take care of your mama. So that's more of the approach, what we do here at Northside. It's deeper than most people will realize. I mean, you come out here and see us on Tuesdays and Fridays, but, you know, I'm a 24/7, 365 coach to these kids. These kids need me, and I will be there for them, and I will show them the right way if they're willing to listen and buy in. And I've been blessed to have a great group of guys that's really bought into my message on the floor, as you can see with these wins. But these guys are starting to buy in off the floor, too. And it's just, you know, trickles down. Once you come in the program, it don't take you long to see how we operate and how we function, because the older guys will remind you, will let you know, and there are consequences for every action that you do here.
Okay. Well, Coach, you have, I think, said it all. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of you, what you're doing, and I encourage you to continue on that same path. Coach Hawkins, I'm sure, will be very proud of what you're doing, and we'll see you this weekend in Monroe as you defeat and become a state champion, right?
Right.
Good job, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, man, you're welcome.